like to hear that and to see that really like was like, okay, black people really are making moves in Atlanta.
Right. Yeah.
So if I want to make moves, it definitely ain't gonna happen in Wilmington, North Carolina. At that time, for a black man, at that time I feel like they was just trying to arrest us and lock us up.
Has AI affected your work?
He started a group. It was probably like 10 of us. It was called First Generation Billionaires. It's pretty much all of us sat around the table. You know, we would all manifest what we wanted to do. Like things that we had goals in life. And like literally to this day, like everybody is working in their profession right now from what we all were talking about, manifesting with this brother.
All together.
Yeah, all together. She was like, all right, I'm gonna tell you this, I don't work with black men, and I definitely don't work with nobody from Atlanta. Didn't know what the project was for, it turned out it was Coming to America.
Wow.
Yeah, did that. My T.I. put me in such, well, when I stepped up in such, and my T.I. gave me the respect for it, it really, really changed a lot. It really taught me that I really could lead instead of being a follower and going with the trend. I also did the first leg of Black Panther 2 with her, which was even more amazing. But those seasons back then, we would take like 4-5 months to shoot a season.
Wow.
Now it's like everything want to be fast, everything want to be microwave, but we literally took the time. You know what I'm saying? So thank you, Jackie. Jacqueline Banner, I thank you for changing my life, for real. Thank you.
You on the podcast.
Yeah.
Tell me, looking at me and my son, tell me what you would have put us in. Hello world, welcome to another episode of Generational Health and Self-Love. I'm your host, Light.
Run Easy.
And today we have a very special guest today. I'm very excited about the guest we have in the building. This is something new for us as far as this profession, so I'm really eager to get this out in the open as far as this episode, because I want a lot of people to learn from this episode and just dream. Because you never know what you can do when you put your dreams into reality. And so this person here, you might have seen they work in some of your favorite TV shows and some of your concerts, podcasts. Might have seen they work on BET and Tyler Perry movie, who knows? But who I'm finna bring out is a big costume and stylist in the industry. And you wanna say something real quick, sir?
Costume designer. Yeah.
Costume designer, my fault. So yeah, with no further ado, I want to bring out our brother and friend, Jimmy Hawkins. Thank you.
I appreciate y'all for having me, man. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for
Appreciate
coming
you,
and giving
Ron.
us the opportunity to pick your brain and just show the world out there a little bit about what goes on in your profession and how a lack of us are in that profession as well.
Yeah, I think this is interesting because, like you said, the lack of people in the profession. So I would like to hear the story of how you came to pick that path or lead that way, or even get in into that industry. How you did that?
Yeah, man.
That'd be interesting.
Well, first of all, give us a little bit about your background, where you come from.
Oh man.
So we can get to know who you are.
So yeah, Jimmy Hawkins from Wilmington, North Carolina. Been in Atlanta since 2006, 2007. Yeah, man, just been working and grinding. Started my way from the bottom and just worked up. I know people say that all the time, but yeah, it's been a literal grind, man.
So how was your early years in Wilmington, North Carolina?
Oh man, like Wilmington was real fun, but it definitely taught me a reality that was true, that still rings true to some of the industry today. Wilmington back in the day was the second largest producer of Wilmington of films and television shows next to New York on the East Coast. So a lot of films and television shows we saw growing up, like One Tree Hill, Dawson's Creek, the Ninja Turtle movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's a whole bunch of stuff that was filmed in Wilmington when I was growing up. My stepdad owned a concrete construction company. He used to do concrete construction for the sets of like One Tree Hill and Dawson's Creek. So I would go with him and ride the sets and just sit back and just watch actors and watch everybody move on set. And I just knew that I wanted to be a part of it one day. I just didn't know how it was going to happen or what was going to be my space within that.
When you were doing that, ride with him to those different places, around what age were you at that time?
This had to be like around like 10, 11,
Wow.
12.
That had to been very exciting. Not only are you with with your dad doing something positive, but
Yeah.
you on a set and you seeing different things. You on the outside looking in, so you seeing things from a view that most people don't get to see. So I guess that kind of, would you say that kind of how it started right there?
Yeah, it definitely triggered something within me. Being with my father, seeing that, and I had an uncle that has been in, well, two uncles that have been in the industry almost 40 years
Wow.
as drivers and transport department is
okay.
what we call it, you know.
Yeah.
But they have been team leaders for transport for years, so kind of getting to hear stories from them
Yeah.
kind of even sparked my interest even more before even going on the set of Dawson's Creek on One Tree Hill.
So your dad had a concrete business,
Yeah.
and he would help them like build the sets.
So like let's say back in the day, One Tree Hill needed a set that was outside the movie studio, which was Screen Jump Studios, where they used to
Yeah.
record. Let's say they had a location that was a house, and say said house wasn't built or said house didn't have a driveway, and they would call my dad to come out do the concrete for it, and they just kept calling them for different locations that they needed. So he'd go out, do the job, maybe he'd be taking measurements, I'd be sitting in the car just watching, sitting back, looking at people move,
Yeah.
just watching everything, trying to take everything in as much as I
Yeah,
could,
That's
man.
dope.
That's definitely an interesting like
Yeah.
job that he got. Like I know he might have had the concrete business, but being able to use it like to help people create the sets or however he got into it, that's kind of interesting because
Yeah, man.
I never even heard of that for real. But what do you think? Because I know you was with your dad and you seen him on the set and all that, but what got you thinking like you got the creativity to be creating the different like fashion and the styles and the costumes and all that? What got you like? When do you think you realized that you was like into that part of it?
Oh man, that had to be like 5 years old,
Wow.
man. For real. Like,
5 years.
I'll never forget. Like, and I love my mom for doing this. My mom always pushed my individuality within the world. Like, you know, like being yourself, being true to who you are.
Yeah.
So at 5 years old, when kindergarten came around, I was excited to go to school. I'm sitting there picking out outfits for myself for the whole week.
Right.
So at that time, my mom gave me the autonomy and the power to choose what I wanted to wear, like what my look was going to be. And luckily, like it wasn't too far out there from what was going on, you know. So it taught me like that actually really built my confidence in styling
So excellent.
myself as
Yeah.
well, you know.
Yeah.
From that younger age, man, it got to the point where I'd be picking out my mom and dad outfits.
Yeah.
My dad would be like, tie this tie at 9 years old. I'm sitting there tying a tie.
Wow.
You know, just little things like that I didn't even know were preparing me for my life that just would open my head at the time.
So did you? So you went to school in Wilmington, right?
Yeah, went to Laney High School, same
Okay.
high school as Michael Jordan.
Oh, okay. That's
Yes,
what's
sir,
up.
man.
Shout out to Michael Jordan.
Yeah, shout out Mike. What's good, cuz?
Wilmington. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So did you ever go to school for your profession at any point in your life?
Yeah, I did. I attended North Carolina A&T State University.
Oh, okay. I heard of that.
Greensboro,
Yeah.
North Carolina, greatest homecoming on earth. Go Aggies. Aggie Pride.
Greensboro.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, I attended North Carolina A&T State University.
Okay.
I majored in fashion design and merchandising, but
Yeah.
I didn't even finish. Honestly,
Really?
I didn't even finish. At the time, like my stepfather, I'd never call him my stepfather. That was my dad.
Yeah.
You know, at the time, my dad was he was going through some health problems when I
Yeah.
got into college. You know, and I felt as though I was a burden on the family. You know, asking for money at that point. So
Yeah.
I decided to enroll in the military.
Okay.
And back then, it was like, you know, Big Bush was in office, I think, at the time. You know what I'm saying?
What age was you? So you was in college at the time?
Yeah, I was
Okay,
in
so you
college.
in your
I was
early
over
20s.
18.
Okay.
I think I was, at the time, probably like literally 19 when I signed up. But at that time, they had a 2-year waiting list to get into the Air Force.
Two-year wait.
Yeah, so there was like either you can wait this 2 years or you can go like to another branch and you can leave today. I was like, nah, I'm gonna wait 2 years. Just go to school, have some fun, see what
Yeah.
that'd be like. And I did it, and I was going through school happy, and then I got the call in 2006.
It was like
It was
gotta
time to go. It was time to go. Yeah.
So was you nervous though going to the military?
Oh yeah, I was very nervous.
Yeah.
I was 3rd generation Air Force. I kind of felt like, you know, my grandfather being in the Air Force, my dad being in the Air Force.
Yeah.
Okay.
Felt like kind of was like duty,
Yeah.
and it would help me figure out my life. But I was ready to retire from the military.
Yeah.
I was ready to do that 20 years.
discipline.
Yeah.
So how long were you in the military?
Man, I wasn't even in the military a whole year, man. I got kicked out before I was permanent party, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you like it though, the time you spent there?
I did, man.
Yeah.
I was flight leader of my squad,
Okay.
of my flight per se, man. It was
Yeah.
probably like 40 of us, and I was flight leader. It was a lot. Like I didn't think I would step into a leadership role, but
Yeah.
when my TI put me in such, well, when I stepped up in such, and my
Yeah.
TI gave me the respect for it,
Yeah.
it really, really changed a lot. It really taught me that I really could lead instead of being a follower and going with the trend,
No, that's what's up.
you know?
So when you left the military, did you go back to Wilmington?
Nah, well, actually, I did. I went back to Wilmington for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. I had a lot of friends from college that was from Atlanta, so
Yeah.
I was always here. Like at least
Oh,
once a month, I was in
okay.
Atlanta back in college. I had a lot of friends from back home that went to like Spelman and Morehouse.
Yeah.
I was just chilling around the city, so I was like, look, I'm just about to be out. I'm going to Atlanta. Bro, I think I had literally like $80 in my pocket. I packed up my Acura and I was out.
Wow.
I was
so,
out.
So go ahead.
What happened though in the military? Like, what made you do? Why'd you have to leave?
It was some reasons that, you know,
Oh.
some things that happened. But, you know, like one day I'll talk about it. I'll probably save it for the book, though.
Yeah.
But it's a
Okay.
very interesting story, though.
Yeah, you notice I went ahead and wrapped that
Yeah,
part up
yeah,
when
that was
he ain't
smooth.
touched on it. I said, meow.
Yeah, that was smooth. I
But
appreciate that.
you say so 2 weeks after you got out, you was coming to Atlanta. So even though you was coming back and forth to Atlanta, what just told you, you know what? Whatever I want to do in life is in Atlanta, and that's where I need to be at.
Man, I was just saying, you know, every time I come down here, like, I will always see black people doing good. Not only, like, driving expensive cars, but, like, for instance, like, one of my homeboys that I went to college with, both his parents were doctors. Of course, we had black doctors in Wilmington, where I'm from, but it was just, like, one. It's not
Yeah.
like both parents are doctors.
Yeah.
So, like, to hear that and to see that, that really, like, was like, okay, black people really are making moves in Atlanta.
Right.
Yeah.
So if I want to make moves, it definitely ain't gonna happen in Wilmington, North Carolina. At that time, for a black man, at that time I feel like they was just trying to arrest us and lock us
Yeah.
up. I wasn't trying to be a part of that. I was like, get me out of here.
Wait, okay, so you said you had your $80 and your Ackerman and
My
you went-
Acura.
My
Acura.
Acura RSX,
The car.
bro.
Oh,
It was
the
a coupe.
Acura.
Yeah, Acura.
Two-door
yeah.
coupe.
So then you took off to Atlanta.
Yeah, took all to
So where'd
Atlanta.
you was staying? Like, how do you even get from that? I'm trying to see Jersey.
Yo, I stayed on friends' couches for a while. I ain't even gonna hold you, man. Like I had a
Yeah.
rough start, you know, like staying on couches, getting kicked off couches because I ain't have no money at the time to contribute. You
Yeah.
know, it took me a while to find my bearings in Atlanta, but once I did, like it was on and popping. And then it got rocky again, but then it was on and popping again. You know.
Always, yeah.
So when did you actually start? What year would you say was your start of your profession?
Man, costumes, man.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So let's stay like styling, man. Like
Okay.
for a while, I was promoting in the city and modeling. That's all I was.
Okay.
I was content with that.
Yeah.
Then I met one of my best friends, man. He's like my brother.
Yeah.
He passed away a few years ago. But this brother, man, he was on another level. Like I wasn't on no positivity stuff
Yeah.
or nothing like that, but he was all about that. You see him, you think you're just a regular street person. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like he in the streets.
Yeah.
He ain't up to no good. Bro
Yeah.
had a business degree. He'd be out partying every night, but every morning that man was at Google working corporate. You know what
Wow.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you wouldn't be able to tell just from knowing him or just seeing him.
Yeah.
You have to know him to really know. But that man changed everything about my mental and my thinking. So at the time, you know, we promoting. I wasn't thinking about doing nothing. But he started a group. It was probably like 10 of us. It was called First Generation Billionaires. It's pretty much all of us sat around the table. You know, we would all manifest what we wanted to do. Like things that we
Nice.
had goals in life. And like literally to this day, like everybody is working in their profession right now from what we all were talking about manifesting with this brother.
All
And
together.
yeah, all together. I've never seen anything like that or heard anything like a group of black people coming to manifest their dreams. But it changed everything, man. I got a job at Nordstrom, and every time like we would manifest, I'm getting chills, man.
Yeah.
Every time I would manifest, I'd be like, I want to be in movies. like styling people. I want to style big artists. I want to do festivals, concerts,
Yeah.
music videos. Literally everything that I would write down, I've already checked off, just from the power of like staying focused
Yeah.
and just manifesting everything. So, like I said, I was promoting. I got a job at Nordstrom because I kept writing down I wanted to work in fashion.
Yeah.
He was like, yo, one of my homeboys work at Nordstrom. He said they hiring. Why don't you go to the interview? Went to the interview, got the job.
That's the clothing man, right? No.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what-
it's a
that-
clothing store, yeah.
Clothing-
That pushes that passion. When you got up
Yeah.
in there and seen all that, I know that
Yeah.
pushed your passion.
It was
even
like
harder.
sparking. It was
Yeah.
sparking. It was
So
like a kid in the candy store.
How did y'all organize something like that? Like, was it like every month or like every year?
It was every week, bro.
Oh,
every
week.
Wednesday.
That's discipline.
Every Wednesday
That's
at
discipline.
7 p.m. We
Yeah.
met up at a different location. We would all talk about our dreams. Sad, I mean, like, the cool thing about it was, at first it wasn't 10 people. It started out with like 4 or 5 of us.
Wow.
Then it got up to like 10. Then it got up to like 15. Stayed around 15, you know what I'm saying? We all still try to talk to each other to
Yeah.
this day.
Man, that's dope.
And manifest and encourage each other and speak
Yeah.
positivity into each other. But yeah, it was a beautiful thing.
So would
man.
y'all just come together and just talk about what y'all was trying to manifest that
Yeah.
like that week or something?
Nah,
Just period.
goals for
That's
life.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
life
Life,
goals.
bro. Where do we see ourselves in the next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah.
Right.
And that like meant a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't thinking about that, but to actually be made to sit down and really put my goals and my thoughts on the paper and have a goal and also accountability from the
Yeah.
people that you're around. If
Yeah.
you're not on your stuff the next meeting, they're gonna hold you accountable. And everybody gonna gang up on you and tell you what you should have done and what you should have been doing.
Yeah.
So you had to stay on it.
That's dope right there when you said accountability
Yeah, man.
amongst your peers.
Yeah.
Not just for yourself, but your peers holding you accountable.
Yes, sir.
That's something that you really don't hear a lot of people talking
man.
about, holding each other. Not just myself,
Yeah,
but
each
each
other.
other. Man, you know, man, that's powerful. I can
Yeah,
see
man.
how things start to manifest in your
Right.
life. When you come together and bring all that type of energy together,
Yeah.
you ain't gonna get nothing but some good out of that. Like that just
Yeah, man.
and I hope everybody that's listening to that, maybe some of you guys can start doing that. Hell, me and my son might start doing it.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's a great idea
I
to
know, it
do
definitely is.
to manifest your goals and the things that you want in life. Like that's I appreciate you even sharing that with us.
Yeah,
I really appreciate
Yeah, because
that.
manifestation is it's no question about if it's real or not. It's whether you're gonna use it or not. Because I know that before I was doing the podcast with me and my dad, and I was like, just when I was trying to figure out myself and think about what I wanted, I was thinking about what I was manifesting was a better people who were like-minded, and that's how I got into doing the podcast with my friends. But I kept thinking about it. Eventually, I met one person, then I met the next person, then we started doing the podcast, and then so on and so forth. But that was all manifested from me constantly thinking about it and wanting to do better for myself.
Yeah, man.
So it's real. It's definitely real. It's no
Yeah.
question about it.
Oh man, I really hear that. So moving on to like Nordstrom.
Yeah.
And how was that? Like how did you feel working there? I know you felt good being at Nordstrom.
Yeah, I did, man. Like I felt like I had like major backing. You know, like when you get signed to a label.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it felt to me. Like
Yeah.
I have been on my grind. Now I got a big conglomerate of a fashion house, a fashion store that's like behind me. I can I can call any one of them, get anything for anybody. If it's on this floor, I can get it. If it's in that magazine, I can get it.
Yeah.
So I found power in that. That empowered me. You
Right.
know, so
So let me ask you something. Working at Nordstrom, you can name more than one, but can you just give us one person? Who was your first celebrity that you ran into when you was working at Nordstrom?
oh man.
And you were
I
surprised.
think you know what? I think it was Miss Quad actually.
Yeah.
And you know, this is before Love and Medicine, or I think it's called Love and Medicine. But anyway, before the show that she's on now, or before any show that she was on, like she was just came in, was always spending money. I was
Yeah.
like, yo, you got to be famous. And she was like, nah, I'm just Miss Quad. Introduced herself as Miss Quad. You know what I'm saying? Like she's always had a big personality. She probably won't even remember me today, but
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? That's probably the first person that I can remember walking through Nordstrom was Miss Quad.
So I know, like, if you don't mind, can you share a couple more? If that's okay.
Yeah, you know, Sheree, most of the housewives used to come
Yeah.
through there. And back then, sometimes I'd be nervous to help, but then I was like, you know what? Why not? You know. But then I had a manager that tried to like, you know, to tear me away from talking to a lot of people at the store because she felt as though it would hurt my commission. And at that time, like I'm real competitive, bruh.
Yeah.
And Nordstrom has a structure where it's like, you sell the most, you number one in the store.
Yeah.
You number one consistently, you gonna start to look real good, man.
Right.
I was number one at least 1-2 times a week up in there. And it's like 300 people working in the store, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Right.
it was a good look for me. So I'm thinking like, you know, man, I ain't worried about somebody returning. I just need to make some money. I want my sales to be on point, you know? So I remember this one lady that used to come in there. Her name is Jacqueline Banner, man. She's a great costume designer now, but
Okay.
at the time she was working as a shopper.
Yeah.
So
I want to go get the stuff.
so pretty much the costume designer was telling her, I need a certain look for a woman. Like I might need an evening dress for a woman. So Jacqueline would go out and get the goods. So she would always come in Nordstrom. Excuse me. She would always come in Nordstrom, and my manager was like, whenever you see her, do not help her because she's just gonna return everything. And like you'll never get your commission. It's gonna hit you. You'll probably be like number 8 in the store if you help her. I was like, all right, so I ain't gonna help her. But every time she came by, we would always speak. You know, she was very cordial. So one day my manager wasn't there, and she came in, and we started talking or whatever. And she was like, help me find this. I need a business suit for a woman. So, you know, I go find a suit. She's like, okay, I like this. What about a dress? If you had to dress a lady going to a fancy event, what would you put her in?
Yeah.
So I bring another dress back. Okay, you know.
Yeah.
She's like, have you ever thought about doing something else? And at this point, you know, I'm in First GB. Every week we getting it, we
Right.
manifesting
You up
stuff.
there on that,
Yeah, you
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I like every day I'm thinking about how I can get out of here, what's gonna be my next move, you know?
Yeah.
And she was like, all right, so call out of work tomorrow and call me when you get off. So I called her when I got off, called out of work. She was like, okay, in the morning, meet me at this address. So I'm like, all right, meet her at this address. I don't know where to go. She come outside and meet me, and she brings me into this costume house. And it's like, well, it was like, you know, a warehouse, but it was made into a costume shop. My eyes just got big. I mean, Alexander McQueen this,
Wow.
like huge labels. Prada this,
Yeah.
Louis Vuitton that, Gucci that, everywhere. I think it was the first time I saw a pair of Dolce & Gabbana glasses that I actually tried on was in this closet, man. And so, long story short, I ended up being a PA. She had me come to the office, the costume office for a show called Single Ladies. It used to be on VH1. And it had like Stacey Dash and Queen Latifah and Lisa Ray on it. You know, it was a big show when it come to fashion, like real high fashion. Everything was high fashion. So turns out I was a PA on that. She got me into that. So that's where I was in that closet, just seeing all these big designers, man. It just opened my eyes up to what I could be doing, what my next move was. And I think I went to Nordstrom the next day and quit my job.
You ran my mind.
And quit my job. I was like, you know what? I think I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna go ahead and take a leap of faith. And I just worked my way up from a PA, bro.
Did you ever ask the woman you were just talking about? Did you ever ask her about what the hating the manager was doing?
Nah,
You did. It never
I never even thought to ask her because at that point, you know,
it wasn't
I was
even
looking
used
forward.
to it.
You know, I was done with that.
Yeah,
As soon
it was
as I walked in that building,
And seen all that.
yeah, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, and did one day of work, and I was like, okay, this is what I want to do.
Right.
It's this right here, and literally, I just worked my way up, man.
So was you her PA or the PA, the person she was shopping for?
I was the department's PA.
Oh,
So anything the
man.
costume department needed, whether if it's like filing, cataloging clothes,
Yeah.
like going through, looking at continuity and writing down exactly what on the tag that the person had on, Gucci shirt, Prada belt,
Right.
you know, Gucci loafers, you know. You got to write everything down in detail because you never know when you got to go back and shoot anything.
Yeah, that is crazy. All that off her word and seeing you in the store, you know, pick out the different outfits. She had a
Yeah.
lot of faith in like what you had.
Yeah,
going on.
didn't even really know me. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying? So
Good.
thank you, Jackie. Jacqueline Banner, I thank you for changing my life, for real. Thank you. Thank you.
She
Thank you.
asked you those couple of questions about and the things you picked out. She's like, oh, he got it.
Yeah, I think that was the test right there.
Yeah, he
You know?
got it. Like he a pro, he a natural. That's probably what she was thinking. And he probably don't. He probably thinking like, what the hell?
I'm just thinking I'm about to make a sale. Shoot, just let me bring back something that's gonna let me get this sale.
So how long did you work as a PA?
I worked as a PA for at least 6 months. It had to be like 6 months, maybe 8.
Yeah.
And then I had got a call about being an actual costumer on set, a set
So
costumer.
what is that, if you don't mind
So
explaining?
yeah, a set costumer is like, what I like to explain is like set costumers uphold the integrity of a costume designer when they're on set. So like, let's say the costume designer, like I'm a visual storyteller, so
Yeah.
I got to tell a story. So a set costumer's job is to make sure that that designer story is told on film, on set. So let's say we on set and I got a set costumer. Their job is to make sure that that person looks perfect on film.
Right.
Like make sure that the collar's right. Make sure that everything is steamed and looks neat. Make sure the tie ain't crooked on film. You know, sometimes when you watch television, you might see a crooked tie 1 second, and then the next second is all
The
straight.
next scene.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's because they caught it on film. It might have been too late, but they needed to use that tape. But now you got a little chance to fix it, you know? So I was.
Can I put you on the spot real quick?
Yeah, man.
I just thought about this. We on a podcast.
Yeah.
Tell me, looking at me and my son, tell me what you would have put us in.
Oh, for the day?
Yeah.
What's the budget? What the budget look like? That's always the first question.
Okay.
What's the budget, fellas?
He cheap, so he cheaper than an 87-year-old
Hey, man,
man.
hey, yo.
I thrift my stuff.
Hey, yo,
Hey,
I love the
thrifting it.
thrift, bro.
Yeah,
exactly.
I love the
That's where
thrift.
it's at.
Yeah.
Okay, well let's just throw an imaginary budget out there. Let's say it's $1,500 for him, $1,500 for me.
Oh,
Let's say-
man.
I was gonna say
Well, first, we need to do an
Let's
in-depth.
say 500.
150.
Well, see what
I
I'm
mean, it
saying?
don't matter.
But,
Like,
I mean, it don't. But
to me, like, all right, my job is not to just put you in clothes because you're not gonna be comfortable because it's not you.
Yeah.
It's like my job is to really do a deep dive psychologically into who you are and what you want to present to the world. Then from what you do,
And their personality and all that,
exactly.
yeah.
Then I can put a look together
Yeah.
and then put you in something.
Okay.
And the thing is, like, you got to be talented to do this with a $150,000 budget or a $150 budget. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? That's
right.
when the real creativity comes in. Can you make $150 look like $1,500?
Yeah.
And that's a talent that you got to own in this business.
would you just explain to me? And let me know if I'm wrong. But would you get into a person's background, so to speak, and just getting a little bit of their personality
Yeah.
to fit them for whatever they're doing? Basically, I guess you would say the clothes are help telling the story.
Exactly. That's all it is.
Okay,
That's
okay,
all it is.
okay.
Clothes are a visual aid for me to tell a story. Like,
Okay.
as soon as I get a script, I'll read it.
Uh-huh.
First time I'll read it, then I'll digest it.
Yeah.
Like, let everything come to me. The 2nd time I'll read it, I might look for things that I've missed the first time.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
3rd time I'll read it, I'm breaking it down. Like, this person has this change in scene 52. And then they got another change in scene 85. You know
Like
what I'm saying?
character
So
development and stuff.
exactly.
Yeah.
What's this character going through? What's in their mind? What's the bigger picture going on in the film right now? What is their socioeconomic status? What do they do for a living? Where they live? Is it hot or cold outside? Do they need to have on a sweater, some sandals?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot that goes into it. So this storytelling that we do or that I do is more so psychological to me. I really got to know the person.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people to reference off of. So it's like I read a script, oh, this person remind me of my cousin Bucky. You know what I'm saying? Bucky would wear this. Bucky would do this. You know what I'm saying? So then it comes into a play, you know, just knowing people and knowing what they would do.
So did you ever get like with any complication being in that profession and being a brother and being a man at the same time? Like,
Oh, man, yes.
like how was it? Was it difficult? Like, did you? Of course, you had to earn to get where you at, but like,
Facing any
can
tribulation.
you give us like some of the things you had to go through to get there?
Man, like, oh, man, it's been a lot, man. All right, so that first the first set costuming job that I had,
Yeah.
and I told you that I got after Single Ladies, so I did like 2 seasons with them, then went to that show. I won't say the name of the show, but it was my first time on set. I was horrible at it at first. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even gonna hold you. I was horrible.
Yeah.
I was so bad that my set partner, and we friends now to this day. Her name's Siobhan. Shout out to Siobhan. But we joke about this. I was so bad that she quit.
Wow.
That's how horrible I
Wait,
was.
she was your what
My
was,
set partner. So
Oh,
like,
set
you know,
partner.
as a set costumer, you might have a partner that you team up with. So you take a certain amount of characters, you take a certain amount of characters. So yeah, you split up, but you got to make sure everything looked good on camera and stuff. But I was so green, man. It was putting all the work on Siobhan Pothang. Bless her heart. She was like, I can't take it no more. She quit. But now, like to this day, we're friends. We laugh about it every time we see each other. But I mean, it's been a lot of adversity. From that same show, I did season 1, and I got real good. At the end of it, I was golden. But when we got renewed for season 2, we got a different costume designer.
Okay.
And she was from LA. Not gonna say her name, but she was asking around like the costume department, like, who's this? Who's this? I was the only black male on the costume department. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So when it came time for the hiring process, she kept a few people that was in the costume department, but she also brought her own crew from LA.
Yeah.
And I remember the producers they gave me her number. I would reach out to her probably like 2-3 times a day, because I know people can be busy.
Yeah.
She never would return my calls. She never would return my texts. The producers had to like hit her up and be like, look, we have a costumer, Jimmy. We want to use him for the next season.
Yeah.
Her first question that she asked him, is he black or white?
Ooh.
Is he from LA or is he from Atlanta? Where is he from? So they say he's a black male. He's been living in Atlanta for a while.
Yeah.
She was like, all right, I'm gonna tell you this. I don't work with black men, and I definitely don't work with nobody from Atlanta. But I'll give him an interview off the strength of y'all. She gave me the interview, you know, and at that time I didn't know what she had told the producer.
Right.
I'm going into the interview thinking like, you know, just let me present my best self and I'm gonna get the job. I know the show. This season 2, I know the characters.
Yeah.
I ain't get that job, bro.
Oh.
I ain't get that job.
Wow.
And it kind of messed with me for a little bit. I ain't gonna lie.
When did you find out what she said to producers?
After my interview, I called one of the producers and I was like, I think it went good. She was like, Jimmy, let me go ahead and be real with you. And luckily she was a sister, you know, so she kind of like felt for me, you know? And that was really my first time hearing that and really experiencing that industry to my face, you know?
Yeah.
But it was a rude awakening. It was an LA rush that was coming in.
Definitely.
And everything changed.
Now let me ask you something. That same person, as you continue to climb, did it come a point where she wanted to work with you?
I don't know, but I can tell you that I haven't seen anything from that person recently in the last few years.
So
For the last 10 years, I haven't seen anything from that person.
Ain't
But
that
I
something?
thank God for that experience. You know what I'm saying? I thank God for all these experiences.
Definitely.
Everything is nothing but God. And I had to stop try to make plans in my life and just let go and let God. And that's when everything just fell into place.
Definitely.
When it came to work, I never had to ask for another job. It was like I never went without another job for a while. At least 5 years, I stayed working. Project to project to project, no gaps, no break. I had to sit down and make myself take a break.
Yeah.
That's how blessed I was. And it was just such a blessing, man. I'm just thankful for it. For
And you
real.
loved your job too.
Yeah.
So,
Can you tell, if you don't mind sharing with the people, some of the sets you work on, some of the people and different
man.
shows you worked on?
Yeah, man. So Single Ladies, that was the first one.
As a PA, right?
Yeah, as a PA. I used to work on a show called Saints and Sinners. Funny thing is, it was on Bounce with Vanessa Bell Calloway. And it had a lot of people on it. It had there's a Clifton Powell on it. It had a lot of people. We had like 7 seasons and a movie. That was a good show to work on. Yeah, man.
You making 7 seasons, you're doing good.
Yeah, doing real good.
and
Doing real
those,
good.
I know they gotta last like years, right?
Yeah, you know, those seasons back then, we would take like 4-5 months to shoot a season.
Wow.
Now it's like everything want to be fast, everything want to be microwave, but we literally took the time to shoot those shows, man. I remember working on one show and got a call for an interview. They were like, so I can't really tell you who it's for or whatever, but you know it's a big project. You don't want to say no to this interview, but if you're available, could you come for the interview tomorrow? And I was already on the show. So I was like, dang. I called, found a replacement for me on that show.
Yeah.
said, yeah, I can take the interview. Pull up to the interview. Now, mind you, I'm like, probably like a month before this, probably like 3 months before this, I'm watching the Oscars, right? I'm watching all these people that's not us go up on stage and get these awards.
Right.
But then they get to the costume design category, and Black Panther is nominated. And this lady named Ruth Carter won the Oscar for costume design. And me, being a manifester, I'm sitting there like, I'm gonna work with that lady one day. I'm gonna work with that lady one day, and I'm really gonna do the dang thing. So I walk into the interview, sitting on the couch is no other than Ruth Carter.
Whoa.
Blew my mind. I think I actually had to walk out of the room, get myself together, and come back. It was like the Beyonce of costume design just sitting in front of you.
Yeah.
Craziness. Did the interview. Thank God I got the job, you know.
Congratulations.
And didn't know what the project was for. Turned out it was Coming to America.
Wow.
Did that. That was a great experience, man, working with around Eddie. And the greats, Arsenio. Like, just I'm getting chills thinking about it, man. Like that really opened up something else in my mind. Like being around that much Black star power while being in Rick Ross's house shooting it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they filmed it at his house.
There was so much history that went into that.
That's dope.
That was crazy.
I know you was just like, wow.
Yeah, man, that really blew my mind.
Straight back to that manifestation.
Yeah,
Like,
the
damn.
power of it, and within it, like not only can you got to say it or write it down or see it, you really got to believe it.
Yeah.
You really got to put the faith behind it and actually do the work to prepare yourself for that. Because then if the opportunity comes, you're just not ready.
Yeah.
It's gonna fall to the wayside.
It's like you already been doing it prior to the opportunity presented.
Yeah.
So I know when you got that opportunity, did you get a chance to tell her, like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, how you felt about her work and stuff like that?
I did, and that's
Yeah.
one thing that I loved about working with Ruth. Like, you know, I also did the first leg of Black Panther 2 with her, which was even more amazing. And you know, Ruth is so down to earth.
Yeah.
She'll talk to you. She'll give you advice. If you have a question about the industry, she'll answer it for you. She's the type of person you can call. She'll answer. If she don't, she'll text you back. You know, she's a down-to-earth person that just loves spreading the wealth, especially to us. She believes in the next generation of us, and that's what I love, man. Like getting to be around her, see her formula, see how she moves and the way she treats people with nothing but respect, man. That meant the world.
Did you get to ask her, like, did she travel, like, to come up with so many different designs? Because I know Black Panther had to be, like, it probably wasn't, like, super hard, but having knowledge on, like, what people look like around the world.
Oh, man. Yo, Ruth did so much research, and Ruth opened up my eyes to, like, actually delving yourself into the imaginary world of whatever you're getting into.
Right.
Not only that, but doing the research,
Yeah.
from historical research to like the cinematic world research. It's got to be true to that world and still have a real world sense of it to make it make sense to us. So
Right.
Ruth definitely did the research, and not only did she do it, she made sure that we did the research as well, so that if she wasn't around and we had to dress somebody from a certain tribe, that we did not mess up our people or our ancestors or the diaspora of the African experience. For real, she was not playing.
That
And
was
I
a
love
good
that.
question. That was a real good question because
sir.
I wasn't even thinking about that aspect of it, because you still had to dress them, and this ain't nothing like, this ain't a podcast, this ain't like a current movie that's going on right now. This is something that's supposedly happened in the past, and there's nothing like modern about it at all. So how would you rate those jobs versus like, you know, like some of the casual movies
Like
that
the
you
New
do?
York Cities.
Like I love, we call them period pieces.
Okay.
So like, you know, if it's in the past, you
Yeah.
know, if it's in the future,
Yeah.
that's a period piece. Even if
Yeah.
it's like, you know, regular times in the real world, that's technically a period piece too. I love working on period pieces.
Yeah.
I was blessed enough to work on a film called Respect. Well, first I was working on Genius about Aretha Franklin, which was the National Geographic show
Yeah.
about Aretha. They pick a different person every season.
Yeah.
And they delve into their life. The first season was Einstein. Second season was Aretha Franklin.
Okay.
She was played by Cynthia Erivo.
Okay.
Excuse me. Who is a phenomenal actress. Phenomenal. I was working for the designer, Jennifer. Shout out to Jennifer. But Jennifer came to me, she was like, I need 3 dresses. So I designed them and made them, constructed the dresses.
Wow.
Cynthia and Revo walked in, she likes them or whatever. So I literally made the dresses. A week later, I get a call. Hey, this is so-and-so. I'm working with so-and-so, and we're doing a movie about Aretha Franklin called Respect. So I went from the TV show about Aretha Franklin straight to the movie.
Right.
Wow. I
Wait,
seen
so
that
did
movie,
you,
too.
when you said you created the dress, did you like get people to put this and that together, or you
Nah, like, you know, all right, so sometimes I gotta get in my design bag myself. Like,
Yeah,
you
about
know,
that.
I like shopping or like, you know, going with stuff that's current or more so forecasting what's gonna be out. But when you're doing a period piece, you got to come with it. So
Yeah.
what I did was I just looked at a lot of things from the past. I came up with something that I think little Aretha would have loved or what little Aretha would have wore.
Yeah.
I found this pattern that was close to a dress that she had, but I changed it up, put tulle underneath it, just really built it.
you went in and did that stuff.
I really built it, cut the fabric,
Yeah.
put it on the bodice, put it on the mannequin, and literally pinned it all. And then Jennifer had the designer, she
Yeah.
had one of her seamstresses just put the dresses together. So really all I had to do was construct it, pin it, leave it there, and they put it together for me.
Right.
And to
that's
see
dope.
that, like that really,
Yeah,
that really
that's your
did something
work.
to me. Yeah,
You know, like,
you know?
that's my work. I'm watching
Yeah.
my work.
And I was still a costume designer. I mean, I wasn't a costume designer then.
Yeah.
I was just a set costumer.
Okay.
So to do that, like that to me was big. That was my first time I saw my work on film or on television.
Wow, that had to have been one
Yeah.
of your best moments in your career.
Yeah, man.
So right now, like in your career, are you like, do you work for a company or are you like your own boss? How
Yeah.
does that work?
So a lady that I worked for, her name is Teresa Morales. She's like a sister to me.
Yeah.
I was a set costumer for her for at least 5 years.
Yeah.
And bro, when I tell you I was complacent, I was comfortable. I wasn't
Okay.
looking to do nothing or nothing like that. But then Teresa talked me into taking my first design job that a network was offering me, and I was like, nah, I don't want to do it. I'm gonna just give it to you. You can do it. I'll work for you.
Why you didn't want to do it?
I felt as though I wasn't ready,
Oh,
and
okay.
I was worried about being the best set costumer that I could be. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I wasn't worried about doing nothing else. I just wanted to be the best at my job.
So she threw that to
She
you.
threw- she
'Cause
threw me
she
the
knew
bone.
you was ready.
She knew
You
it.
just didn't know.
I didn't think I was, but she knew I was. Did that, and then got another one, and then it's just been nonstop. But Teresa and I to this day own a company called The Style Architects.
Man.
So it's not like we not working for no big network that's like keeping us plugged. Nah, it's like all us, and it's pretty much word of mouth.
Yeah.
Producers will call us, directors will
mouth.
call us. You know what I'm saying? And that means a lot to us. We don't have an agent.
Yeah.
We ain't got no manager or nothing like that. It's just both of us grinding.
That's beautiful.
It's both of us. So shout out to Tess.
But you staying busy.
Yeah,
So
it's been a
You
blessing.
don't need an agent.
It's been a blessing,
so,
bro.
So the universe telling you doing a damn good job.
Yes,
the
sir.
way you doing it, you know.
Especially in like the last year and a half for real, with this whole strike thing that was going on, like with the
yeah.
actors. A lot of people wasn't working, but luckily, like thank God, Tess and I had like 2 or 3 projects at a time going on when the industry wasn't working.
Yeah.
But God had us working, and I'm so thankful for that. That's not a brag or anything like that. That's just showing gratitude to God for what He did for us.
Nah, it
And the
seemed like
work
they
that
had-
you done put in.
Yeah.
Because if you hadn't put the work in, you would not be getting those
That's
jobs.
true.
So
That's
you
very
know,
true.
you owe yourself something too, because
Yeah,
you
man.
didn't you like even like you said, you wasn't when she gave you that opportunity, you was like, nah, you can go ahead and get it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you still you end up doing it, and then you said from there came another job and another job. So it's
Yeah.
like you put that work in, even
Man, I
at the time when
appreciate
you
that.
didn't want to do it. So
Yeah.
no, like it's good to pat yourself on the back. It's good to say, yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
No, for real. So moving from like, I want to go back a little bit because I kind of want to get to like, not too far back, but after the PA
Mhm.
and kind of like going into, I know you said you did that first set was Sisters or something.
Single.
Single ladies.
My
yeah.
fault, single
yeah,
ladies.
single ladies as a PA.
So after that, going into where did you see from right there? Where did you see yourself moving forward? Because now you just had your first opportunity on a set. Like, did you know that you was gonna end up where you at, or like where was your mindset right there moving forward?
I'll say this. I feel as though when I get to doing something, I get comfortable in doing
Yeah.
it, and I just want to be the best at
Yeah.
that, you know.
Yeah.
But then God has another plan where it's like, all right, you need to be uncomfortable. You need to try something new.
Yeah.
So at that time, being a PA, like I said, I was comfortable with doing it.
Yeah.
I was comfortable. I just want to be the best PA.
Yeah.
And then I got the call about being a set costumer, and it was like, I thought I wasn't ready, but
Yeah.
God pushed me into that position to make me uncomfortable, to be so bad that I had no choice but to get better if I wanted to keep my job, man.
That's deep right
And that
there.
was some money back then. I couldn't miss that. I was like, oh, this is what my check looking like every week?
Right.
Oh, yeah, I got to get better.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got to be the best. That was
Yeah.
my main focus.
And just think about, like you said, the your partner that you're still cool with today, that like going through having her quit because she said that she was so bad,
Yeah.
but still continuing and getting past that. That had to be like definitely like a big like character development point, like just a leap of faith and just to continue
Yeah.
keep going. That was
Yeah,
okay.
man.
And to keep
Yeah.
y'all relationship, like
Yeah.
after when she went, when she quit, when did you guys get back in contact? Like when did y'all come?
Probably like
back
2 years later after
Yeah.
that on a TP set, on a Tyler Perry set. It
Yeah.
was like, oh, God.
Just
Y'all
what
got
you-
Jimmy working here? Oh, goodness.
That's what
I'm
she
like,
said.
yeah. I mean, but jokingly,
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But that was the move. Like, I told her, I was like, look, sis, like,
Yeah.
for real, I've been on my grind. Just give me one day. I know you gonna love what I
Yeah.
do. For the whole day, I think Siobhan just sat back, looked at me, made sure I was on myself, and was like, all right, he good. I can mess with him now.
Just in case y'all didn't hear what he said, because he said that real laid back, real smooth. He said on the TP set, Tyler Perry, ladies and gentlemen. He was talking about him being on the Tyler Perry set. So
Yeah.
he really ain't bragging. I'm gonna brag for him. Tyler
Man.
Perry. So
Yeah.
how was that though experience? Can you share that?
Oh,
How was
man.
that working for the great Tyler Perry?
Man, that was an amazing experience,
Yeah.
and I thank God for that experience as
Yeah.
well, man. I'll never forget the first day I was working at TPS. I showed up with a suit
Yeah.
a suit and tie.
Uh-huh.
Like the show up at Tyler Perry Studios with a suit and tie. I'm like, yo, I'm in costumes. I just got this set costume design job. I mean, this set costumer job. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna show out.
Yeah.
Oh, they gonna see me today.
Yeah.
And it was on a show called Ruthless. I'll never forget it. And like literally, you see this lot out there was nothing but gravel. Literally nothing but gravel. As soon as I walked up to the office, the designer looked at me. She was like, oh yeah, buddy, you got to go change. She was like, it's a whole closet downstairs that you can go down there and just pick an outfit.
Oh, yeah?
Just put some clothes on, pick out some sweatpants and some sneakers.
It's all
You
gravel.
don't need all gravel. And literally for like a week, it rained on that gravel, so it was nothing but mud. If I would have worn that bad, my suit would have been messed up. And it was Imperial silk. I'll never forget this. Man, the suit was so clean. It was a navy blue suit. Never forget it.
But you was trying to make a first impression, right?
I was.
So, yeah, I
was.
feel you. I would have been thinking the same thing. And then once I would have seen that gravel, I was like, dang.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, I made a bad choice. But I thugged it out, man, and stood with it for a little bit. So yeah, worked on Ruthless as a set costumer. And then I got the opportunity to move into the assistant costume designer space.
Okay.
With Rayonda Vereen. Shout out to Rayonda and thank you. At TPS, and
Okay.
I got to be assistant costume designer for Ruthless and all the Queens Men and the Oval and then I went with Tyler down to do a movie called Jazzman's Blues, and I was the key costumer for that.
Jasmine's Blue. That
Yeah.
sound, I can't say I've
It
seen
was on Netflix. It was a period piece.
Sound
It was a great film
Yeah.
about this young man from the South and his trials and tribulations of growing up and falling in love. But it was a great
I
film.
might have to check that out because
So-
I want to say I seen the
Mm-hmm.
preview or just came across it because it sounds so familiar. But so that was another Tyler Perry project as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man.
Okay, so what would you say, you know, to people or stylists or people who trying to get in that same field? Because I know they might be I feel like a lot of people overthink a lot of things and think it's so much, and they get discouraged about even just from thinking about it so much. So what would you get some advice for some people who out there trying to get into fashion, styling, or costuming?
Oh man, study the art of fashion, study the art of design, study the history of fashion. know decades, be able to forecast fashion. Like one thing that I do, like I might do a movie that might be set in a current time,
Yeah.
but just because I'm doing it today, it might not come out for a year. So I not only have to think what's good for today,
Yeah.
I gotta think about what's gonna be hot next year whenever the masses see it. So whenever they see it, they was like, damn, what year was this in? Brother got on some skinny jeans that's acid wash. That don't even look right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You really gotta really forecast and think ahead. And I think that's a lot of things that a lot of costumers and designers or stylists just don't do. But knowing what the game gonna do, predicting what the next move is, like trying to be a fortune teller, studying what
Yeah.
everybody doing now, and then what the next move is gonna be, keeping your ear to the streets. And a lot of people think they gotta start off somewhere big, like they got to be on the set to be doing this, or they got to be styling like T.O. or somebody, just a random person to throw out. But
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Start out with your sister, start out with your cousin,
Yep.
start out with Pookie and them that got a rap group, you know what I'm saying,
Yep.
doing a music video tomorrow.
that's
You might not be
real.
making no money, but your work will live forever.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that money cannot buy, is the eternal life of your work on film that anybody can go see and be like, oh, Jimmy did that, Ron did that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I wanted to ask you, stepping into this industry, did you have any mentors
I
outside?
did, I did.
I'm thinking about you guys meeting. That's kind of like a group mentor. But you had mentors to help you along the
Yeah,
way.
I would definitely
Because-
consider Ruth Carter a mentor. I would
Yeah.
consider Teresa Morales, my business partner, a mentor.
Definitely.
Luckily, I've been blessed to work for some great designers throughout my career that have really, I've got to sit back and just like really pay attention to their moves, their process, and figure out how to make it work for me and really have longevity in this industry, because that's something that's hard to do.
Longevity, yeah.
Longevity, man, it's a
Consistency.
marathon.
Yeah, and then you got people new coming to the industry, challenging you and your work. So it's like, and it changes. Like has AI affected your work?
Ooh, buddy,
That's definitely good.
that's the elephant in the room right there, man.
'Cause that's amazing.
It's scary.
Yeah.
I would say that. Like,
yeah.
When were you first introduced to it? Like when you heard about it?
I heard about AI right before the pandemic.
Yeah.
The pandemic really had me scared. The pandemic gave me a lot of anxiety. The pandemic made me go to therapy and work on myself and make sure that I healed.
Yeah.
Because it was like stuff in my childhood was coming up in my life that I didn't even realize was happening. I had to
Yeah.
go to therapy. But for real, like when I heard about AI, like I just got scared and anxious. And even today, like it's a lot to be anxious
Yeah.
about. You can just type something in the computer and like it just gives a look.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's pretty scary to know that your industry might be coming to an
Yeah.
end because of some AI.
Well, you know what? I don't think it would come to an end. I would think that it would just advance it, so to speak. I mean,
I don't
learning
know.
it. You don't think so?
I don't know.
Just-
Like think about it. Like
Yeah.
before the pandemic, there's something else that I kind of got into was like 3D printing.
Yeah.
A
yeah.
lot of
Oh,
structures today,
Yeah.
3D printed.
Yeah.
Yeezy had a whole foam line of slides, the little foam joints, the
Yeah.
moon joints.
Uh-huh.
I don't even know the name of them no more. The foam runners.
Yeah.
Oh, the shoes.
Yeah.
3D printed the
Yeah.
whole shoe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All you gotta do is put this in the computer and it can do it. So if AI can say, okay, this is what it needs to look like, it can definitely translate to another computer who can make the actual product.
Yeah.
So therefore, it kind of makes a human obsolete unless you typing in the commands. But still, that takes away the art and the human connection
Yeah,
from
and
the
then
film.
a costume designer or stylist is not gonna want to go back and learn how to do a computer because that's like two very different types of people or type of fields too. So
Now, what I will say is I did have to teach myself how to learn to draw on the iPad, sketch on the iPad.
Wow.
I think that's like the
Yeah.
biggest like technology change that I've seen, from going sketching in a pad and you got everything in the pad to now like you draw rendering up, or you can have a graphic illustrator get your rendering up, get it printed and made, have all the measurements on it. Never have to sketch anything like on a piece of paper. Computer just sends it out and you got all the correct management.
So how long have you been in the costume and designer business? How long have
Man, I've been in costumes since 2013, 2014. I've been a costume designer since 2019.
Yeah.
I got my first job thanks to Teresa. It was a film called Christmas. Was it Christmas Ringer? Not Christmas Ringer. I just did Christmas Ringer. Oh man, it was a Christmas movie, but it was great. Brittany Hall, BJ, like great actors, and I'm still friends with them today. We all still talk. And the funny thing is, me and Brittany have done like 5 projects together, and we were actually friends before all of this.
Yeah.
Like it's so crazy, so crazy, so crazy.
Before all of this happened, were you guys like? Was this something that both of you guys wanted?
Yeah, like I was moving into the space of being a stylist at Nordstrom, and her best friend was our mutual friend. So we get introduced like that.
Yeah.
We go about our business. She was modeling at the time, and I think she became like a Maxim girl, or King magazine had like some printout of her or whatever, and then people started taking notice of her. And that second job that I told you I got as a set costumer, literally I'm on set, and the designer comes up to me. She was like, "Yeah, we're getting a new character today. Her name is Camille. She'll be in today. She's just gonna stop by set."
Yeah.
All I hear is Jimmy. I turn around, it's Brittany. Yo, we had the biggest reunion. Yo, like look at us. We both on set. Doing what we wanted to do.
After
like,
not seeing each other
for years. She moved to LA, you know what I'm saying? That's how small this world is. You got to make sure you good to everybody.
Because you never know when you see them.
You never know.
That's
golden rule. Be nice and kind to everybody. That same person that you giving $1 to or that's asking you for $1 could be your boss tomorrow. You never know how life works.
Now that's real facts right
Be nice to everybody.
Because you never know when you'll see them people again. Or you just, you know what's so crazy about that? Your child might run into this individual. Your mom might run into this. Like, you know, and help them. Or not, depending on what your relationship was like. So, man, you just being kind to people, being nice to people, it can just take you a long way. It can do so much for you. And like I say, it's beneficial to the people around you, your family, your children, your wife, or whoever the case may be. So I agree with you with that because, you know, sometimes we all get times where we just can be selfish. You know, really not thinking about the next person or what they may be going through. Because I know being on the set, you may have seen someone explode and you like, what the hell was that about?
Where did that come from?
And you like, they ain't never like this. But they brought to work something that was going on in their personal life. And sometimes they just, you know, they just lose it. You know, so it's just, and even in that moment, you still gotta know how to embrace a person. And tell them, hey, look, whatever you're going through, I'm here. If you want to talk, if you don't, give you a hug, whatever the case may be, because that person, 2-3 years from now, can remember, Jimmy, I remember when you gave me that hug. You don't know what that did to me, and I appreciate you. And you know, like, damn, you know, but that's, we change the world like that, little day at a time.
You're right, man. That's one thing that I pray to do every day, like just spread love, positivity. Even if I'm not having a positive day or a good day, and that happens, you know, I'm human. But I at least try not to let my negativity rub off on somebody else, because I never know how I'm going to affect them. And to piggyback off of something that you said earlier when you was like, you know, people coming for your job and stuff before we got into AI, I honestly don't even mind. I would love if more of us were in the spaces that I'm in. You know what I'm saying? I would love that. It's people that have worked for me as set costumers that are now getting they shots at costume design, and I'm looking back at them like, if it's anything I can do, you know what I'm saying? Let me know. Certain jobs that I can't take, that my schedule might not meet, I might try to put them on. You know what I'm saying? It's all about paying it back and paying it forward.
Definitely. And I think, like, not too long before, you know, social media was like a super big thing, I feel like people didn't want to, like, it was like I feel like a period of time where people didn't want to put other people on. Like, that was the thing, like, people being stingy about, or like if you know somebody, not telling somebody that this or that, or you know, just things like that. And I don't know why it was, because like you said, if I knew something and I was like, and I knew somebody who was trying to connect with somebody else, I would definitely just go ahead and, like, I didn't understand, like, why people wouldn't just easily just go ahead and help somebody who, you know, would need that help or trying to get to that next level.
Yeah, sadly in this industry there's something called gatekeeping.
Ah,
Yeah, there's
Yep.
a little gatekeeping. And a lot of people back
Yep.
then, and I can't speak for everybody, I can only
Yeah.
speak for myself, but what I feel like I saw
Mm-hmm.
was people indulging a space, having room in a space, and they being the only one.
Yeah.
At that time, when a lot of them were coming up, it was usually one person, one black actor in a
Yeah.
show,
Yeah.
one black so and so on the show, one black person might win an award. So there wasn't a lot of spaces for more than one of us to be in. And I give them grace looking back at it. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Because they might have been scared that their whole livelihood
Yeah.
would have been faltered. But the way I see it is my livelihood will be faltered if I don't bring somebody up that's coming up under me.
Facts.
That way my legacy will never go on. If
Yeah.
the industry is just taken over by people that don't look like me, all my work was in vain because it's
Right.
never going to happen again. I got to pull them up.
Yeah, and then if you do, that person, if they come on to do big things or they do take over whatever, they'll still know that, hey, you know, you helped me out, this, that, and the other. And so
Yeah.
that they'll always have their name or remember your name, even if they do, you know, go big and you decide to like chill out, whatever you do. But they
Yeah.
all could carry on.
Yeah.
So that's cool too.
That's important, man.
Well, we getting close to the end, but before we go, if you don't mind, could you tell us like what you got going on now, like what sets or different things you're working on
Yeah,
at this
man.
moment?
Yeah, nothing but blessings. God is just, continuously to rain down these blessings, and I'm just thankful. It was, what can I say? All right, so I can say that I
Right.
just signed 2 movie deals yesterday.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Say yesterday.
One, yeah, yesterday, 2 in one day. So one of them starts this Monday.
Okay.
12-day shoot. Can't say who's involved, the
Yeah,
name
right.
of the project, but
Yeah.
it's kismet. The
Okay.
way God, you got a plan, and then God just shows you what His plan, and it's even bigger. I was complacent. Anyway, yeah, so 2 projects. And talks of another big project that's starting in September. In the middle of June, I'm leaving to go on tour with a very famous, successful not hip hop, R&B group. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. Yeah, thank you. We're doing 30 cities.
Tour.
Yeah, 30 cities from the end of June to like the middle of August. So 10 weeks, 30 cities. I'm running the costume department for them, so I'm very, very thankful for that. That's a blessing.
Have you ever did a tour like that before?
Nah, this will be my first tour.
So
Yeah, I
let me
was
ask you
gonna ask.
something.
My first tour.
I want to know: do you have an idea? With you going to 30 cities, do you have an idea of? I guess it'll probably be hard. How many different wardrobes you might go through in them 10 weeks?
Yeah, that's something
It's-
that's got to be discussed. You know what I'm saying?
Because you got when you say a group, it's more than one person.
Yeah.
So one person in one day can wear
10 outfits, you know what I'm saying?
Whoa.
Shoot, Beyonce had like 10 costume changes in it, and the dancers too,
Wow.
With this one, hopefully we will keep the changes minimum,
Yeah.
ladies, but hopefully, we'll have different looks.
Yeah.
But we could keep at least one show in the same look or just
Right.
one costume change. But then again, it's up to what they want, and my job is just to deliver.
Yeah.
So I just got to be on it.
Man, congratulations, because
Thank you.
that's beautiful to hear, and you seem
Yeah.
so excited, and I just love to hear stuff like that, and to be able to go on tour and dress these people out and look at your work and be like, damn, or like even your mom or somebody say they seen something, you like, Mom,
Yeah.
I clothed them, I
Yeah.
I did that, don't you? You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
I know that's
man.
got to be an awesome feeling. So
It is.
I just want to say, man, I appreciate you. Thank you for
Man,
sharing
thank
your
you.
time with us, and
Thank y'all.
I've learned so much. Like you just don't understand. I've learned a lot just listening to you and your story.
I appreciate
And
it. Thank you.
man, I hope the viewers out there got a lot from this as well. So
Definitely.
you want to say something, son?
No, I definitely think this was a good episode, and it just like hearing how he got to each spot and always having that really like I loved was that group thing y'all was doing together with you
Yeah.
and your friends. That was
Yeah.
very powerful, and just each spot where you like faced something and then you got to something bigger, then you went to something else, and then you always kept that. Like even when you got comfortable and your friend gave you that asked you, did you want to do that costume job? And you was like, you could just do it and I could work under you, but you still went and did it.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
just like seeing that you just got to keep going.
And real quick, do you have any social media, IG? Or
Yeah,
Facebook?
man. IG Costume Jimmy is real simple. JIMMY. Costume COSTUMEJIMMY. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so y'all make sure y'all follow Costume Jimmy.
Yeah.
And once again, we're gonna thank him for being here. And everybody, thank you for watching. Peace, love, and have a great day.
Out.
Appreciate you.
Man, that was dope, man. I
I
appreciate